Think about the visual witnesses for the resurrection of Jesus. There's a really great visual witness in the change that happens in the disciples. Before the resurrection, when Jesus was tried and crucified, these disciples were weak and afraid and they run away. But after the resurrection, they become strong and bold, and they're even giving their lives for the belief that Jesus rose again from the dead. Take James, for instance. James was the physical brother of Jesus. He actually didn't believe in Jesus. He didn't believe that Jesus, was who he claimed to be, the Son of God. In fact, James thought that he was mad. We're told that in the Gospels. But after Jesus' death and resurrection, he did believe. Now, if Jesus had just died, James could have just said, well, I told you, I knew something awful would happen to him. He's mad. But he didn't. He believed that Jesus was the Son of God who died on a cross for sins and rose again. Peter, take him. He denied Jesus at his trial and he ran away. But now he's as bold as anything before the Jewish leaders that he was so afraid of. Thomas, he's another disciple of Jesus. He said he wouldn't believe that Jesus rose again from the dead, and wouldn't worship Jesus, and wouldn't believe the testimony of the other disciples that said they saw Jesus. But then he saw Jesus, and he did believe. Paul, he used to be called Saul. He was a man that hated Christianity. But now he saw the risen Jesus and was convinced of the resurrection. There's a second visual testimony to the resurrection of Jesus, and that is the early church itself. When Peter stood up to preach after the resurrection of Jesus, 3,000 men believed in Jesus, and that was in Jerusalem. And then 5,000 men, a few days actually later, believed that Jesus rose from the dead. And that was Peter, as I say, preaching in Jerusalem. The church also changed the day of celebration from Saturday to Sunday. Sunday became the first day of the week, which was the day that the Lord rose from the dead. That was a visual witness. And then the church itself took the Lord's Supper. And Paul says that you should take the Lord's Supper until he returns. So there was this visual act within the church that showed that they believed that Jesus died, he rose again, and is coming again. Baptism as well was another thing that the church did. And it was a symbol both of the death of Jesus and the resurrection of Jesus. So all of these visual witnesses and changes in people testifies to the fact that Jesus rose from the dead.